year, Trevante got off a good start and just sort of was like disappeared later in the season.
Yeah.
Was there any reason for that? And
injuries. He and D-Lo have been the most injury-prone two clowns I've ever been around. I got to get them straight. You can't make the club in the tub, and whether it's for the size, whatever it may be, they got to stay healthy. But the good thing is we got some depth now, and you know it's a different type of offense. It's a different system. You know, everybody has a chance. Everybody has a chance, and it's just a different mindset and thinking for a player to practice and knowing that he has a chance to play, rather than waiting for somebody to get hurt before you have a chance to play. Everybody has a job to do and a role that they can play. I love it that the two offenses that we had both give you a chance to get matchups. So a player, just because he plays X, don't mean he can't come in here and play the Z when it requires you to run that route. You know, it's still learning concepts. There's just a lot more of them, and there's a lot more routes, bless you, dictated off coverages, where before we were locked in. Now it's changing conversions, things like that, a lot similar to the NFL.
Who do you, how many guys do you anticipate playing on September 1st?
To be honest, as many as they'll allow me to, as far as trusted. And I had a freshman ask me that question. I told him, as many as I can trust. I really don't have a set number. Say we're gonna carry 8. We're gonna carry, because I told you they have to play 2 special teams. Unless you're a senior, you definitely have to be on 2 special teams. And so, whether they help us in special teams may say whether they get on the bus or not. And so, it won't just be based off what they do in that wide receiver room. You know, we always talk about offense, defense, and then the we-fence, which is special teams where we all come together. So that's really, really important to me. I harp on that. I tell guys, you remember how Darvin and Emery and those guys all made plays on special teams? I want the same thing out of these guys, because that's going to help them down the road.
Emery Blake's kind of a known commodity. You know what to expect out of them. Have you seen anybody kind of step up opposite side of the field and kind of grab that spot yet?
You know, and really we haven't had enough time to be able to say, yeah, here's our next go-to guy. But I tell you, Quan Bray has made some plays. Javon Reed, Sammy Coates went up over the top and made a play on some guys. So, and that's what I mean by the depth. And here's my deal. They need to understand that I have to trust them. I have to trust, because they say, well, Emery Blake's a known commodity. That's because I trust that he's going to do things right and he's going to make a play when he gets a chance. But when there's another guy that showed me in practice that he can do those same things or similar, and it's not a big drop-off when Emery comes out and he comes in, then I'll have another guy to play. And now Emery's going to be fresher in the fourth quarter because now he didn't play 90 snaps. He only played 60. Yeah, does that make sense?
So a lot of people look at Auburn receivers, they really need that secondary complementary guy for
absolutely.
Play, but you think it's going to be more one guy?
Yes, until we find guys that can give us the competition or competitive edge where we know the matchup is going to win, and they got to prove that in practice. There's some guys with that ability, but one that won't do is nobody one that can't do it. And so my job is to get more of them doing it. And I think just with what we've seen, and we'll know a lot more after this scrimmage. I think we have some guys in there that can do those things. So I'm really excited about it. I tell you, another guy that's moved in my room is Morgan, Anthony Morgan, and guys, he can fly. He can fly. That bubble screen's a whole lot different when you got speed on it. And he's a guy that I look to run some of those kind of things with that can help us win.
How much has Trevon matured the last couple of years?
Oh, bunch. Just in the weight room alone. Coach Yox, I tell him every day he's the MVP. Because people, you know, saying how well Coach, he is starter in the weight room. He's a different kind of kid. He came here like, I don't know, 160, maybe 160 with rocks in his pocket, and now he's almost up to 190 pounds. And that's made a big difference in his blocking, in his confidence, in his health, staying healthy. I mean, he was so skinny you could have slid him under the door without opening it. You know, now you better open the door because he can run through it because he's bigger and stronger, and his confidence is there, even on his blocking. So that's what helps kids. That weight room. I mean, thank God for Coach Yox. I mean, I'm just telling you, he is a difference making the glue to his football team.
What sticks out about Jalen Denson? I mean, for you, what's the best thing about him?
You know, I kind of say he's a quiet guy, but he plays big. He plays big. He's physical on his blocks, and he knows how to high point the football. You know, he didn't play a lot of receiver because he played tight end for Hoover. You know, and they had him out some. But what he does now, and now understanding how to sit it in the window, understanding how to attack a coverage, a leverage of a corner, he's starting to put all those things together. because he comes from a great family and he's a really smart kid. Now putting it together and having the confidence. But you guys know there's no substitute for experience. You can tell the guys that have played in games as opposed to the guys that haven't. When you go through practice and you go through, you know, scrimmages and drills that are set up fast-paced tempo against our DBs.
Yeah, you've been around Scott first playing this now. Just kind of your impressions of him.
You know, he's a really intelligent guy. He really pays a lot of attention to the details. And I love the way that he coaches the whole offense into understanding why we run a play, why we're doing something, why we're attacking this, and then a situational guy. You know, 2-minute red zone coming out. I mean, we even go with taking a knee. I mean, he's done a great job of educating them on. Our kids right now know every opportunity there is to stop the clock in a 2-minute drill. Whether it's an injury, whether it's a timeout, whether it's a play being reviewed, whether it's somebody jumping off sides on offense, somebody jumping off sides on defense, and explaining the difference between the two, when that clock's going to start and when it's not, when that referee's going to set the ball, where he's going to set it on the hash. I mean, just educating our guys to the minute detail. And I tell you, he and Van Gogh both, I've been really impressed with the attention to detail that they play for our players to be educated and understand the game. And I think all that does is make us a better football team.
And you got plays tomorrow. You guys going to run the scrimmage. You got to set them out.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
It'll be like 100 plays tomorrow.
Oh, you know,
yeah.
You know, the guy that sits at the front of that table, I mean, if you ask me, I'd say let's do 200, but I don't know if he's going to go for that. And I think he's going to get a feel for, where we are with, you know, guys being tired or, you know, injuries. I mean, different things could dictate that, but he and the coordinators meet every day, and they go over those deals, and they give us the scenario and the situation that we're going to do, whether it's 3rd and long, 3rd and short. We're going to practice coming out, we're going to practice, whatever it may be. They'll set those situations up and then let us educate the players going into it that, you know, it's 3rd and 5, you know, it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 1, you know, so it'll be some of that, I believe. I don't know if it's going to be just put the ball down and let's play this many snaps. It'll be things that our guys can learn from in that situation, you know, whether it's, you know, overtime, whether it's short yardage, or whether it's, you know, last minute of a half, whatever it may be.